Hello everyone and welcome back to Tree of Life Tarot. This is going to be your daily tarot message for Monday, April 6th. So let's see what we've got. First card out is the Emperor. Okay. There's our second card. Now, that came out a little sideways. I'm going to keep it in the upright, but I'm going to acknowledge that it did come out a little wonky. And here we have Ace of Cups on the bottom. So, I'm getting the Emperor on the move. Now, two things I want to say right off the bat here. Our Emperor represents the sign of Aries. We are in Aries season right now. Knight of Wands can indicate Aries. It is that kind of fiery forward movement, a little bit impulsive, can be a little hot-headed. So they're related, but they're not the same. And the Emperor is someone I sort of read often as a little bit solid, which can be solid and grounded and secure. It can also be solid as in not movable. And here we have a very fast-moving energy coming through. And I'm getting that this Knight of Wands, even though he's facing towards the Emperor, that this Knight of Wands is a movement from the Emperor. This is the Emperor sort of getting off his throne there and actually taking some steps. So whatever the Emperor has, all of his, wisdom, power, resources, whatever, is actually getting moving again. Now, I don't know if this is you, the viewer. My gut feeling on this one is this is someone external. This is an outside character who is getting on the move, and we'll see how that affects you. Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck here, so that is an emotional new beginning. So if this is you're dealing with a divine masculine, again, gender doesn't matter. Masculine is just the energy and the expression. This could be a divine masculine. I'm hearing getting his butt into gear to come in for an emotional new beginning. There is a lot, I will say, I am not explicitly or specifically a love reader, but in the last 2 weeks, there is a lot of love energy coming through that has just been very prominent. Okay, well, here we go. There's our Empress. King of Swords, so we have divine counterparts on the table. Okay, I'm not even going to say anything yet. I want to see what else comes out. We have the Moon, we have the Queen of Pentacles, so a lot of characters here. All right, one more. There it is. Okay. Interesting. Five of Cups there. On bottom of the deck, we've got Five of Pentacles. These two coming out together. So this tells me bottom of the deck, this is sort of like the undercurrent. And let me hold this up. This is sort of the undercurrent energy right now. That feeling of loss, of being left out in the cold. Now, I'm being drawn to the fact that there are two people here going through this together. So perhaps we have two parties here who have been in a separation or in some kind of strife, and they both are feeling left out in the cold. They are not in their sanctuary where they want to be. Right behind them is a church. That's a sanctuary space. So let's have a look. Empress, King of Swords, the Moon. Now the Moon does speak a lot to things coming to light. Sort of what was in the shadows coming forward, whether that's information that has been missing, and I will say because the King of Swords is present, that may very well be the case, or spaces within yourself that have not necessarily been explored sufficiently. Fears that have been allowed to sort of creep in, that are sort of on the periphery, and maybe you're not aware of how much they're affecting you. But here we have the King of Swords. This is that clear perspective. That is that clear seeing. And I'm getting the King of Swords here is less to me an actual character as it is the essence here. That quality of clear seeing, of solid perspective, that is reckoning with this moon energy, that is actually going into sort of the secret space of the moon, into that unconscious, subconscious space. Now, this, to me, starting off with the Empress here, is in service of the Empress. Okay, here's what I'm getting. Because I actually think this is about the Emperor, which, and again, I'm going to read this a certain way. If the roles feel reversed to you, then take it that way. But I'm feeling that this reading is actually about the Emperor, who may or may not be you. And I'm going to have you being the Empress here. That feels more aligned. And in this aspect, the Empress is what is causing and motivating this Emperor to actually do this work. So I'm going to go ahead and call it twin flames or counterparts, because it's just coming through really loud and clear. There's probably been a separation. We've got, our Five of Pentacles here. Each has been sort of going through their own process of grief, but also growth. Those two things happen together. But the Empress, our Emperor character here, our divine masculine, is inspired by the Empress and being moved, whether he is conscious of it or not. And I'm saying he, I'm using gender pronouns, but just take it, switch it around however you need to. Is being called forth by the energy of the divine feminine counterpart to clean up his act, to get his mind right, to go into the shadows that need to be looked at and go through this journey of the subconscious. Because, and I'm getting sort of this queen, the queen may be, the memory of the person the Emperor left behind. She's now, this is her higher form, the Empress here, but coming out with our Five of Cups here, he's in regret over his queen. And both of our feminine figures here, they're sitting very abundantly, very nicely in their own space. And perhaps this is how our, Emperor or budding Emperor, if you will, because it looks like he's doing some work at the moment, sees or felt about his feminine, his queen, that she was grounded, she was stable, she was nurturing, she was kind, she's also resourced, both materially and, in terms of her own maturity. She knows what she has. It's her pentacle right there. She's doing well, and that's probably how he perceives her, and he perceives that he lost this. And so there is a strong sense of grief. But I will just say, underneath this Five of Pentacles is the Ten of Pentacles. So there's still, this is a feeling of what was lost. This is where our Emperor wants to be, but is currently experiencing the Five of Pentacles because probably this spilled, the situation, the relationship spilled. And he's having to deal with that regret. So, back to the beginning, what I was saying, they're still counterparts. Whatever happened, the desire in this Emperor to be in his power is motivating him and igniting his passion, being called forward by his counterpart. This happens whether we're conscious of it or not, if you're on this kind of journey. It's the higher higher self or deepest soul, however you want to look at it, of each of us that has that deeper or higher wisdom and knows what it wants to become, where it is meant to go. It's that acorn theory of life, that, you know, an acorn has the oak tree in it already. It has all of the intelligence. It knows what it's meant to become, and it goes through a process of growing and unfolding. And that acorn may not even be able to recognize that it's the same thing as an oak tree in its infant stages. But there is a deep intelligence within it that is going to guide that process, that knows what the outcome is going to be and encourages it to keep growing. Just like the deepest, most true essence of our Emperor and Empress is that divine intelligence that is calling both forward. Okay, let's keep going. I hope that makes sense. It's very clear in the cards. So if you are not in a relationship, I'll see if anything else comes through. Whoops, that's too many, but this one came out. This may not be a reading for everyone. This may be for somebody very specific who is navigating. Yeah, so there's some of those cards that just came out. Look at all the 5 energy we've got going on here. And here's our judgment, okay? Bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. So this is a strong, solid new beginning in the 3D. And I'm seeing just beneath that we've got the 9 of Pentacles. So that's, you know, this is sort of pre-Empress energy. She is sort of sitting very abundantly, very alluringly. She came out in one of the monthly readings as well. She is sitting, this is who is inside. You see the garden walls here, down here? She's inside of these walls. This is what is inside here. So, tangible new beginning is what's at work beneath the surface. Okay. I'm seeing some familiar faces here, so continuing energies. 5 of Wands beneath the Empress, so this is competing energies, and this is sort of a battle over, you know, our Knight of Wands wants to rush into this and kind of sort it out, and this could be a desire. This is not energy that's internal to the Empress. This is energy that is surrounding our Emperor's perception of the Empress. And there's competing forces. There's which priority to choose. There's the desire for this Empress, and then there's also everything else we're concerned about. And there's this definite internal struggle battle that our character here is fighting. You know, going through this conflict is what makes the Knight. This is his realm of conflict. So which passion is going to win out? Okay, we have the 5 of Swords then. So this is sort of passions and priorities. This is sort of ideas and strategies. We have a rather shady looking character here. And this may well be, you know, okay, this is actually quite clear. This is the behavior and the activity that this King of Swords is here to cut out. This is that scheming. It's not quite the 7 of Swords, but it's, you know, protecting one's own interests. It's sort of doing what's necessary to get the upper hand and keep the upper hand in the situation, which is not a strategy conducive to a healthy mutual relationship. And that may have been an issue previously. So this King of Swords and this kind of behavior is motivated by, you know, self-protective instincts related possibly to childhood trauma or just, you know, negative experiences or conditioning that we all have. There's no judgment there. But it's something to be aware of that needs to be matured out of. So that's what this King of Swords is getting clear about, is sort of his own behavior being illuminated. Moving to the Hierophant, Now this is traditional structures. This is a card of marriage. And I'm getting very much here, this is a card a bit of growing up. What is going to help with this journey through the shadow world is some conventional wisdom. This person needs a little bit of structure, needs a little bit of wisdom to help. So getting priorities straight, doing things the right way. You know, reverse, this could be kind of like an oppressive structure. Upright, this is a healthy structure. This is family, this is like religion in the positive sense. This is, you know, there's a reason some methods are tried and true, and nothing is ever one size fits all, but there's also bodies of wisdom that support everyone, no matter what sort of size they are. And that wisdom helps guide the journey. And this character needs this wisdom in order to face these shadows and get things cleared up. Now from there we have our Knight of Swords. I kind of like our Knight of Swords here. Sometimes I have mixed feelings about our Knight of Swords because he's looking a little out of control here. But I'm getting two things. One is this is possibly how he felt in the presence of the Queen of Pentacles previously. It made him feel a little nutso because he was overwhelmed by her essence and her beauty. I am noticing here, though, very specifically, oh, I should probably cover up the Judgment card. Oh, well. There's a heart on the bridle right here. He's chasing after love. And so this work and clarity may be inspiring our knight to go forward, you know, with his heart on his sleeve, so to speak, to realize that his mind needs to be a servant of, you know, this is fighting for love is really what it is in this context. And then here we have the Judgment. So, and particularly coming underneath this 5 of Cups here with these spilled cups, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 vessels here. We've got 5 vessels here. This is the calling back to life. This guy's stuck right here, you know, is not alive because he's ruminating about the past. And this is our angel coming in and beckoning everything back to life, moving forward so that we can have this Ace of Pentacles beginning. So a lot of work has been / is being done by this character. There's a little bit of a fire being lit under their butt to clean up their act and come in and resurrect and make things right. So if this is your reading, either you're the Emperor and you're feeling this fire under your butt, or you are our Queen or our Empress here, and this is a message that your counterpart is doing the work. Now, one thing I want to say here, if this is a counterpart twin flame situation, that kind of relationship is a mirroring relationship. So whatever your counterpart is doing, you're also dealing with a version of that within yourself. So even if you are the Empress and you're waiting for your counterpart to do this work, that means there's similar work, your version of that work for you to do yourself. So while you are, I don't want to say waiting, don't ever wait. But in the meantime, your work continues. Cleaning up what you need to clean up as well, so that new life can arrive. I'm going to leave that there. That was a very specific message, so it may not be for everyone, but if it is, I wish you well. And it looks good. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Take care.